Now, how did you spend your Sunday? For hundreds of years, it's been a day of rest, with going to church, a walk or enjoying a roast with a family, the pinnacle of excitement. But now it seems many of us don't see today as different to any other day. Sky correspondent Lisa Dowd has been finding out more.
In days gone by, we know Sundays were very different. Now, retail therapy and long queues and fast food rather than a slow roast are new traditions. For many, worship no longer happens in church and there's no day of rest. Particularly for Matt Riddle, who for the last 10 years has been focusing on how Sundays have changed.
I think people spend their Sundays now doing a lot of shopping. There's still the sightseeing element to it, there's still the sporting activities. The Premier League football has changed a lot of people's attitudes as well. You can have 3, 4, 5 games live on Sky. You can watch that. And I think that people's attitude towards the day is that it's less of a day where you stayed at home and spent it with your family anymore. There's more freedom to go out and do whatever you want to do.
Oh, he's wriggling around. Wriggly little lamb.
Sundays at Cotswold Farm Park are always busy. What do Sundays mean for you?
For me, well, mostly it's working here, really. We get lots of people coming on Sundays. We always find it's a bit quieter in the mornings. People like a bit of a lie-in. Some people still go to church and things, and then they come in more afternoon. Everybody likes seeing little lambs, little baby animals on a lovely Sunday as well.
7 rabbits for 7 grandchildren. It's quality family time, but little downtime. A restful Sunday?
A different type of Sunday. There's 10 of us, 3 adults and 7 children, ages between 3 and 16. Yeah.
Are you mad?
Yes, I think I might be.
With just Molly to entertain, things are a little more laid back in the pumpkin tent.
This is a quiet Sunday, actually having fun, have a laugh. That's better than the hecticness of work and life and throughout the week. 5 days, 6 days of that, and yeah, Sunday's definitely got to be us 3.
But there is nostalgia for how things used to be.
Sunday to me was just amazing because everywhere was shut. You know, it was, I mean, you had the family dinner, you sat down around the family table, you know, Mum had been cooking since 9 o'clock in the morning. It was fantastic. These days, it doesn't happen, does it, really?
The photos show that there is still time for a family meal. Not all congregations are dwindling, and some do still find time to rest. A portrait of 21st century England. It's for you to decide which era is best. Lisa Dowd, Sky News, Gloucestershire.
Now, for hundreds of years, people have regarded Sundays as a day of rest, going to church, a walk or enjoying a roast with the family. But now it seems many of us don't see today as being any different to other days of the week. Photographer Matt Riddle has spent much of the past decade capturing how people now spend their Sundays. And I'm pleased to say he joins us now from central London. Very good afternoon, Sunday, should I say to you. Why do you think things have changed so much?
Well, I think you can't help but not link the sort of decline in Anglican and Christian church attendance with that of the rise of consumerism and the internet. I mean, when the Sunday Trading Law was passed in 1994, making shopping a lot more of a Sunday event, I think that that has obviously had a detrimental impact on that.
And we're going to look at some of your pictures that you have taken now. What were the things that you found had changed the most? What do people do on a Sunday now?
Again, I think it's more to do with more people are out and about going shopping, really. I mean, there are still those traditional things that people do. Sports activities, spending time with their families and things. But I think what happens is now that people are factoring in more of the things that they would have done on a Saturday into their behaviour on a Sunday. And my book is more about not necessarily saying that's a detrimental thing, but at the same time, I think what it is saying is we should all just pause for a minute and just think at the pace that we're living our lives right now, is that a good thing for us, for our human condition and our well-being?
We're looking at some of your pictures now. People on a train, drinking a beer. We've got people playing cricket, that kind of thing. I have to say, does it depend on where you live in the country? I used to live in Jersey in the Channel Islands, and there, Sunday is very much still a day of rest, I'd say. The shops are shut, that kind of thing. So is it a geographical thing?
Yeah, I think there is a massive element of that. I think London is, like most people would agree, I think is a different country really to the rest of England. I mean, the book is about England, and you know, I'm originally from the West Midlands, and last Sunday I was visiting my parents, and my wife and I were walking with our son, and most people were fairly quiet in a suburban environment, and people were washing their cars. So there is an element of that, but what I'm saying is I'm questioning whether or not the speed in which we're living our lives now is starting to creep into that. And what I'm trying to sort of look at is that a positive thing? Do we as human beings need that day of rest just to relax and switch off and contemplate? So yeah, that's kind of what the book is trying to get people to do, to think about how much value they place on their leisure time.
And I was going to ask you that actually. What are your personal views? Do you think it's a shame that we've changed to a more modern way of thinking? People do a lot, don't they, on a Sunday now, rather than the traditional church and catching up with friends, having a roast, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think everything in moderation is the answer. I personally don't think it's a bad thing that you have the option to go and buy the things that you can't do. We live in a very busy life now, and people simply can't get to the shops to do the things that they want to do during the rest of the week. So it is important for certain people to have that. But what I'm trying to question is, you know, let's think about is this going to be detrimental to us or not?
So what are you doing for the rest of your Sunday then?
Well, after I've finished this interview, I'll be going home to my wife and my son and hopefully having a nice lunch and then going for a walk in the countryside.
Did you find from taking your pictures and a bit of your research, there was less time spent with families and the kids?
Not on all of the books. I mean, I photographed about 30 different people and only 12 have made the book. I don't know, I think certain families, the story I did on the Farmers, which is a Muslim family who got out of the rat race and they moved to Oxfordshire and started their own organic halal chicken farm. I mean, in the morning, the wife gets up and she takes the produce to the farmer's market and she works the farmer's market until 1 o'clock. And on the way to the farmer's market, she goes to Waitrose to drop off the eggs and then to drop off some chickens. And then the husband is left at home sort of schooling the children and taking care of the children. So, yeah, it has an impact on them as well. That was one example.
And what would you say was your favourite picture of all the ones that were taken?
Oh, wow. There's so many. I really like the story about the pastor, and I really like there's a picture of him just looking up to the sky as he was psyching himself up to begin his first sermon of the day. And the reason I included that, as opposed to not including the 4 Anglican priests I followed, was because with Anglican attendance, that's on the decline, whereas Pentecostal attendance is increased by 38% in the last since 1980. So it's quite a popular thing in that community.
Thank you very much and enjoy your Sunday.
You too.